Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. Keith keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know from pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Welcome to GSMC Music Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Cynthia, and I have no co-host today. Keith is out. He is sick. Let's all send him our good prayers, thoughts, vibrations over to him so he gets better, and he's here next week with me. So I hope you guys all had a fabulous weekend, and I hope you guys also don't mind listening to my voice this whole time. I know maybe you guys need some testosterone in here, but it'll just be me, so hopefully you guys don't get too annoyed with my voice. Just JK. You guys shouldn't. And I have a lot to discuss today. I know by the title of this episode, it might throw you off. Yummy in the box, right? Like, what does that mean? I promise you this is all rated PG, maybe PG-13, but definitely kid appropriate. I was just trying to play with the title, because Keith is the one who always writes out our titles, and he's the creative behind the name of the episode. So since he's not here today, I have to take on that responsibility and do it myself. So let me know in the comments if I did right, if I did good. And let's get into it. So I want to talk about the battle of the streaming. So Justin Bieber's hit single, Yummy, versus Roddy Ricch, The Box, hence the name. So on Monday, January 13th, it was confirmed that Roddy Ricch's The Box secured the #1 spot on Billboard's Hot 100, while Justin Bieber's fell short and debuted at #2. Especially if you have a strong social media presence, that you definitely must have seen kind of both of them constantly tweeting and posting about their songs, to telling their fans, go stream it, go play it, let's get to #1, yada, yada, yada. Just getting onto the Billboard Hot 100 is a pretty big accomplishment. It's really hard to even get onto the 100th spot. So to make it that far is pretty impressive. So Yummy was Bieber's first single. He released it early January 4th. And this is his first single since his 4-year hiatus. And he has not released any music at all in 4 years. So it goes to show he definitely went hard with promotion and sharing tips, air quote, tips, with fans to help secure him the #1 spot on Billboard's Hot 100. Now, this is where I wasn't really a fan of the way Justin Bieber's method of trying to get to the #1 spot. I thought his effort in trying to secure the #1 spot was extremely desperate. On his Instagram page, he posted for his fans to play the song repeatedly on 14 different playlists in low volume. He literally said, play this in 14 different playlists and play it all night long, because that's how streaming numbers get recorded onto the Billboard. It's by your streaming numbers. So if the song is just constantly playing all day, even while you're sleeping, then those numbers are still getting ranked and counted towards the Billboard Hot 100. So he literally posted on Instagram, told his friends, play it on 14 different playlists and play it very low. You don't even have to listen to it. Just play it very low, like background noise. And he also highly suggested his fans to purchase the song Yummy on iTunes multiple times. And it's that is just super extreme, very desperate in my opinion. And I don't think that's the organic way to land the #1 spot. And Beyonce made a very good point about this. She mentioned not on an episode, in a documentary, not the one that was released on Netflix, her Homecoming documentary. It's another documentary. Beyonce literally touched on this. No, not didn't touch. She called out this idea, how music nowadays and music artists nowadays aren't true about their craft, aren't true about their art. It's not even about the art or the music. No one truly cares to create art or create beautiful music or to create projects. She said it's all about just putting out quick singles and no real albums, just putting out quick singles, and then those burn out and then they do it again. So it's like one single, okay, until that one dies, then another one, then until that one dies. And then the cycle just continues. It's not ever really any more about the art. It's not about the music. No one really captures the essence of music. And this is exactly, Justin Bieber proves Beyonce's point by doing all of these dramatic efforts and desperate efforts to land in the number one spot. Like, what does that validate for you? I mean, I know he probably earns like hella money landing in the number one spot, but I just didn't think that was the organic way. And that's why I'm very happy that Roddy Ricch won this streaming war against Justin Bieber, because he wasn't advising his fans to, play his song on the low in 14 different playlists. Like, that is so extra and extreme, and I just don't support that. And that's why I'm just so happy that Roddy Ricch took the number one spot instead of Justin Bieber, because that's not I just feel like if I were in Justin Bieber's position, which that will never happen, but still, let's just hypothetically speak here, hypothetical situation. If I were an artist and I were to make music, I believe that the whole point of art is that you create it and you put it, once you put it out into the world, it's theirs. It doesn't belong to you anymore. You have to let the universe do what it wants. You have to let the universe take its course. If it's naturally and organically an amazing song or whatever art, then it's going to take its course and it's going to land where it needs to land. But even to land the number 2 spot, I'm like, how real is that even? I mean, you were telling your friends you were doing all these extremes to land that spot. So I just don't even agree with him being that high up on the Billboard's top 100, if I'm being completely honest. So I rant over. I do, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but I kind of like the song. Like, the song is very catchy. If you guys haven't heard Yummy, it just has a nice bounce to it. I don't know. It definitely took me a while to get used to. I had to listen to the song probably 4 or 5 times until I got into the groove of it. And another reason why I think I really like the song, I wouldn't say really like it, but why I don't mind listening to it is because of the dance community. I feel that every time, and again, for those of you who are new to listening to me, I have a dance background. So I look at a lot of dance content, and many of these dance choreographers have done amazing and just beautiful choreography to his song Yummy. And I think that's why I enjoy the song much more than I actually do, is because when I think of the song, I think of the choreography behind it. And when I'm listening to the song, I immediately start dancing because of the choreography I'd seen. And I'm gonna give you guys an example. So Paris Goebel, for those of you who don't know, she is one of the most amazing and respected choreographers in the world. I mean, this woman, she choreographed for Rihanna's fashion show last year. And she is pure talent, honestly. Anyways, she dropped a dance visual for Justin Bieber's hit song Yummy, which reached over 7 million views on YouTube. And pause this podcast right now if you need to go watch it, because it is so amazing, that choreography, especially if you have dance background, if you like looking at dance content, dance choreography, definitely go check it out. And because of her choreography to Justin Bieber's Yummy, I think that's why I liked it a lot more than I would have preferred, to be honest. And Justin Bieber also dropped a visual for his single Yummy, which has reached over 69 million views, which, again, that's highly, highly impressive. And his dance visual, when I saw the music video for Yummy, it's not like he did anything too creative or different. I think it's just because he has like pink hair, like his hair is dyed pink. There's a little bit of dance choreography in there, and it gave me a little bit of Chris Brown vibes, if I'm being honest. Like when I was looking at the music video, like, and the type of dancing that Justin Bieber was doing, it reminded me a tiny bit of Chris Brown. Not to say that I don't think Justin Bieber's dancing skills are even comparable to Chris Brown, because his dancing skills are just out of this world. But for some reason, and I feel like many other people can also agree with me, when they initially saw the music video for Yummy, I don't know why. I really don't know why it reminded me of Chris Brown. It could have also been the song is like pop, but it's also like, I don't know if it's trap. I wouldn't say trap, but it's like hip hop and pop. So that's why I think it kind of reminded me of like Chris Brown, because I could totally see Chris Brown jumping on this record and like singing the exact same lyrics. And that's another thing too. Like the lyrics aren't complicated in any way. So I think that's why, I don't know why I correlated those two. But needless to say all of that, Justin Bieber did congratulate his opponent via Twitter, saying, "Thanks everyone, so thankful. At Roddy Ricch, you had to go and make a banger, shaking my head. Haha, you're the man. Love the song. Congrats on your first #1. Everyone go stream #the box." I feel like Justin Bieber was probably like secretly crying in the background after he lost the #1 spot. Also, just to add on to, everything about Yummy in the Box. Actually, no. I'm going to come to a quick break. I'm going to keep you guys waiting. I'm going to keep you guys with a little cliffhanger. When I come back from the break, I will share you guys more on the box.
Hi, I'm Greg. I'm the CEO and founder of Sober Recovery Center. If you're struggling with alcohol, meth, heroin, pills, we can help you. We treat you in a way that's going to help you want to stay and want to do it. Sometimes people think that there isn't any hope, and yet there is. We don't give up on people. That's what makes us different.
Call SOBA now and get the help you need at 866-547-6451.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome back to GSMC Music Podcast, and let's continue the conversation. I think why the box did so well and how the box landed to the #1 spot on Billboard's Hot 100, the box gained a lot of momentum thanks in large part to social video platforms like TikTok, Twitter, and Triller. I mean, that's what the kids are using, right? TikTok and Triller. And this is where fans have made countless memes to the track. I mean, if you hashtag and look up the box, there's going to come a wide array of memes and videos and people like doing silly dances and silly videos to the song. And that absolutely helped highly popularize the song, The Box. It is a cool little tone. If you guys haven't heard, like the very beginning of the song starts off, it sounds like, say you have like a squeaky door, like every time you close it, it makes that squeaky sound. That's exactly how the whole tempo, or not the tempo, but the whole beat of the song is like, Or it also sounds like if you're wiping your windows with Windex, that sound, like that's literally like the whole background noise in the entire song. So I think because it's different, it's not a beat you typically hear in a song, I think that's why it captured a lot of people's attention. They're like, oh wait, this is kind of like a cool little tone, a cool little beat. I know that was my initial reaction when I first listened to The Box, and it's like a good workout song. It has like a really nice drop and a nice beat, or a nice drop in the song, which it's like if you're working out, like it just makes you go 10 times harder. But yeah, shout out to TikTok and Triller and Twitter, because those social media platforms definitely helped out The Box in reaching the number 1 spot. And The Box isn't a single. The Box is one of the most popular songs, or if the most popular song off Roddy Ricch's new album called Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. And his hip hop album was released last month in December. And another reason why I respect The Box more than Yummy, and why I'm so happy that The Box beat Justin Bieber's Yummy, is also because of the writers. So you can look this up on genius.com. If you have Apple Music, it even shows at the very end. If you look up the lyrics, at the very end of the lyrics, it'll show all the writers. The Box only has 2 writers, and that includes Roddy Ricch, which is the artist himself, and 30 Rock. And 30 Rock is the producer. While Yummy, you guys, and this was shocking when I found out, Yummy has 5 writers for that simple song. And when I mean simple, I mean the lyrics. Like the lyrics, the entire song goes, yeah, you got the yummy, 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 yummy. And it repeats out like 2 or 3 times. And there's 5 writers for that simplistic song and lyrics. So the writers for Yummy are Justin Bieber, Jason Boyd, Sasha Sirota, Ashley Boyd, and Daniel Hackett. So I'm just a little more impressed with The Box. I always give more credit when there's a single writer, or like the max 2 to 3. I just like respect it more, because it's like that came out of your brain. I mean, just disclaimer, I understand like 90, if not every single artist, doesn't matter what genre of music you listen to, all artists have some type of co-writer or ghostwriter. So I'm not saying that, nobody has anybody there on the side to help them with like the hook. But I just think it's a little more respectable. The less writers, the better. Again, that's just my opinion. All in all, I want to wrap this conversation about Yummy in The Box. And let's move on to another topic of discussion here. And I feel like this is long overdue. However, I had just gotten to listen to the album fully, front to back, start to finish. I'm a little late, I know. And that's Kanye West's gospel album, if you want to call it gospel, Jesus is King. And this is like gospel rap, I would say, gospel hip hop. Definitely modernized Christian music. And Jesus is King was released October 25th, so I'm months late, like 3 months late. And Jesus is King is Kanye's 9th debut album. And I'm going to be so completely honest here, you guys. Completely honest. I am not a fan of this album. And here's why. Because I'm not a fan of the new Kanye. I love his older stuff. Like, I love his older music, like the albums, The College Dropout, and Graduation. And many people my age, I believe, can agree with me as well. Like, whenever we have discussions about Kanye West, we all prefer his older music, the older image that we had of him versus a new one. And I don't know if it's because he's married to Kim Kardashian. I don't know if it's because he lives in Calabasas now. He's away from Chicago, his hometown. I don't know. But my true issue with Kanye and this whole supposed like religious rebirth and recommitment to Christianity is because I have a huge issue when an artist tries to capitalize off religion or spirituality. Not to get like too religious on here or anything. I'm a very spiritual person and I take my beliefs very seriously. And I just don't like the fact that all of a sudden Kanye West has all of these revelations and a rebirth, and he's like, which is not to say like people, that definitely happens to people, you know, like people go through life, things happen, and people say, you know, they find a higher power, whether that's like the universe, God, whatever it is you believe in, right? I just don't like the fact that he's trying to capitalize off religion, and you know, because of that, he has like $1 billion sneaker brand and he's gotten all these endorsement deals, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding this specific album, Jesus is King. And I'm not the only one who has criticized the album. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't even think I could really tune in to the actual music just because of the man who's behind it, because of the name that's slapped onto the album, Kanye. Like, I'm not okay with all of these supposed revelations he's having. And I'm going to give you guys some examples. So for instance, he expressed recently to his wife how he feels uncomfortable by the clothes that she wears, by the tight clothes that she wears, by the revealing clothes that she wears, by her showing her body too much. I mean, let's pause there, because you met this woman, right? She was already like that. She's going to continue being like that regardless of you. You feel me? Like, I have a big issue with men telling women what to wear, what makes them uncomfortable. Like, oh, that's a whole nother discussion, but I'm just not okay with that. And he expresses that discomfort of his, supposedly because of his rebirth, his religious rebirth. He found God, and like God told him this, and I just like, I don't accept it. Like, I don't like that. I'm not okay with men telling women what they're okay with them wearing. Like, it's a woman's body is her body, and she's able to do whatever she wants. Okay, fight me in the comments. But yeah, I'm just not okay with that. And also, other air quote revelations he's had. He's even asked collaborators to abstain from premarital sex and began keeping a scorecard even that includes limiting himself to only 2 cuss words a day. Now, that one's not too bad. I mean, it's your own choice if you decide not to cuss, you feel me? Like, that's on you. That's not my issue, but I have an issue with telling your wife to change the way she dresses, or telling your collaborators, people you work with, your environment, to abstain from premarital sex. Like, literally, who died and made you Jesus? Pun intended. Like, and that's what I don't like. Like, I have a lot. He's just such a controversial figure to me now. I also don't like the fact that he urges people to call him Jesus. Again, this is just my opinion, and I may be more sensitive to it because I'm a very spiritual person, and like, I don't think those are things you should just like play around with and make money off of. That's the real issue. Like, you're making money off spiritual teachings and religious teachings, and I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay. Some of you may disagree. Some of you may not care too much about it, but I think that has disturbed my what would I say? It disturbed me from truly listening to the music, to the art of the music of Jesus is King, because of Kanye. Like, I already went in like with a negative cloud, I guess, just because of all the things he's done. So it's like, I don't support this album. To be honest, I don't recommend it. That's just my own opinion, but that's just because of my own beliefs. You feel me? And again, I'm not the only one who feels this. There's many gospel singers and writers who support the album, who think this is great. I love how he modernized it, whatever, each to their own. But he has also received a fair amount of backlash for this spiritual album. Many African-American Christians, if I'm being very specific, many African-American Christians are accusing him of hypocrisy and accommodation. And I 1000% agree too. I think he's being a hypocrite. I mean, all of a sudden he's like doing all of these things and telling his wife what to do, what to wear. Like, that's my biggest issue, really. And if I had, like, it's not that the album's bad. Like, if you listen to the album, it's good. It's pleasant to listen to. Like, it's not that it's bad music. I mean, there's hardly any like bad gospel songs or like Christian songs. I wouldn't label any of them as bad. But if I had to choose, I guess like my favorite track off the album, it would be Follow God. I mean, it's pretty explicit what the song's about. And it's one of his more popular tracks off the album as well. And I think it just could be maybe because, again, it's more high tempo. It's a little modern twist. But I don't think the songs in the album are terrible. I just don't like that Kanye did it. And you guys, I'm going to cut into another quick break. And when I come back, we're going to talk about Mandy Moore.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hello and welcome back to GSMC Music Podcast. Moving on to a different order of business now. Let's talk Mandy Moore. So if you guys have not seen on Instagram or Twitter, our girl Mandy Moore is back. She just announced today that her first album in over a decade is coming. It's coming, you guys. It's expected to come out on March 6th, so mark your calendars. It is on iTunes right now for pre-order, pre-sale, and I already listened to the 3 songs that she released, and I love them all. So her last album, it was a very long hiatus for her, okay? Her last album was in 2007. 2007, Wild Hope, and the new one is titled Silver Linings. That's the title of the album, Silver Landings. And I said linings, huh? Silver Landings. And she's previewed a few songs that I just mentioned and already off her new album. And those are I'd Rather Lose, Save a Little for Yourself, and When I Wasn't Watching. And when I listened to those 3 songs, it gave me such a euphoric, relaxing, melancholy vibe. It put me in such a good mood, especially I'd Rather Lose. Like, I'd Rather Lose is such a feel-good song. It has like the guitar solo in that song is like, I could literally fall asleep to it. And I love her voice. It's so calming, so relaxing, like truly soothing music. And I cannot wait for her album to come out on March 6th. Just by those 3 songs, like I already know I'm going to be replaying them over and over and over again. And so out of those 3, again, I'd Rather Lose, I highly recommend. If you have to listen to one song from Mandy Moore's, if you've never listened to Mandy Moore or have heard of hers, I would suggest listening to Candy, which is a 90s song that she got very popular. That's like her hit song, the one that made her career take off. Listen to Candy and then listen to I'd Rather Lose. Those would be my 2 recommendations. If you've never heard of Mandy Moore, if you have no idea who I'm even talking about, listen to those 2 songs. You will not be disappointed. And compare them too. They're very different. And very interesting. As I was doing my research, I wanted to find out, why has Mandy Moore been on the hiatus? Why hasn't she made new music? What has been, I guess, holding her back, or what's been going on? And I found this out. So in February 2019, Mandy Moore was among the women to come forward in a New York Times report outlining multiple allegations of abuse against Bryan Adams. So for those of you who don't know, Mandy Moore and Bryan Adams were married for 6 years. And there have been many women coming out speaking against whether it's physical, psychological, verbal abuse against Bryan Adams, which is so terrible. And in her interview with the New York Times, Mandy Moore claimed that Bryan Adams' psychologically abusive actions caused her to put her music career on hold. That just makes me so upset, honestly. And among other things, she claimed that Bryan Adams discouraged her from working with multiple figures in the music industry. That is such controlling behavior and toxic behavior that I do not agree with. I know this isn't the relationship podcast, but when I read that, I was so upset. I'm like, you were holding her back. Ladies, maybe men too, do not let anyone hold you back. Do not let anyone hold you back in following your dreams, pursuing your dreams, living your full out potential. No. I cannot stand that. Because of his controlling behavior, he essentially blocked, many blessings in her life. And he also blocked her ability to make new connections in the music industry during a very pivotal and potentially lucrative time. Her entire mid to late 20s, that's her prime. And she didn't make any music because he was holding her back. And she even said that it was hard for her to make music. And every time she tried to make music, he would deter her away from that. He wanted her all to herself. So you see the psychological damage that he caused for her. And I'm just so sorry that happened to her. And I'm sure there's many situations that we haven't even heard of or haven't come to light that are very similar to Mandy Moore's. So that was so upsetting when I found that. I was like, wow, we missed out on so much potential, as she just said, a very pivotal time in her life, her late 20s and her prime, not making music because a man was holding her back. No, and no. I'm so glad she's out of that relationship and that she has come forward and is sharing her story. However, Bryan Adams' lawyers, he denied all of that. He denied that he stopped Mandy Moore from working with other producers. He claimed that he was supportive of her well-deserved professional success. I don't know. I'm not a detective. I'm not here to really figure out what's the lie, what's the truth. But anytime any woman comes forward, or a man, can go both ways. But anytime anyone comes forward, I'm going to believe them. That's just me. Okay. And moving on from the serious stuff. Okay. That was just I just wanted to share with you guys the reason why she hasn't been in the spotlight all these years, why she has been on over a decade hiatus here. It's not that she didn't want to put music out there, is that she was being held back by her husband and he was not supportive, and truly a shame. But anyways, let's keep it pushing. I want to talk about one of her songs, the song that's being previewed off her new album, Silver Linings. I want to talk about Save a Little for Yourself. Love the song. And I love it even more because I love the message behind the song. She says that it's sort of the other half of a love song that we don't always want to talk about or acknowledge. She said of course, in love and typical love songs, we talk about how we should open ourselves up and let people in and love them as wholly as possible. But none of that carries any water if, you're not taking care of yourself, if we're not putting ourselves first and foremost. And she's touching on the whole idea of self-love, and I just love that. I love that so many artists are talking about that because it's so important. And she even says, this song may not be super romantic, but it's an equally important part of the equation. So I just love it. I love her music. Her music gives me Fleetwood Mac vibes. I don't know. When I listened to those 3 songs, I literally felt like I was on top of a cloud for some reason. Like, it's like, I don't know. I love it. Save a little for yourself. Love the message behind it. I love how she's talking about self-love because it's absolutely true. How can you devote your time and energy and effort to somebody when you're not even doing it to yourself? And self-care is so, so, so important. It really is. It really is. And I'm going to leave you guys with one more recommendation here. So I highly recommend Mandy Moore, those 3 songs, I'd Rather Lose, Save a Little for Yourself, and When I Wasn't Watching. Again, her album Silver Landings is coming out March 6th. And to leave you guys off with a little cherry on top here, I want to recommend to you guys, I want to start like recommending like a song for every episode, like the song of the episode. If Keith were with me, he would recommend one. And then, you know, I think we're going to start this. I'm going to start it. So my song for the week that I recommend for all of you listeners to go tune in is Life is Good by Future and Drake. And this is going to be a hip-hop favorite for all my hip-hop heads out there. You're definitely going to like this banger. Life is Good. Every time Drake and Future collab, they always make a hit song. So I can't speak. What is going on with me? Highly recommend Life is Good, Drake and Future. That's going to be my recommendation for the week. And you guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode, today's GSMC Music Podcast. If you liked what I had to say today, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, leave comments, 5-star ratings, all of that good stuff. And I wish you guys all a musically inclined and happy week. And catch me here at GSMC Music Podcast.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.